Hello, everybody. This is Mr. Tomachko's screencast for the Panorama editing instructions. Begin by going to File, Automate, and choosing Photo Merge. Photo Merge is like an app that runs in Photoshop. When you open up the Photo Merge app, select your files by going to Browse, and your files should overlap at least 50%. For this project, you're going to do a minimum of 5 photos of the same subject. You can do more if you'd like, but 5 is the minimum. Click Open, and once you see all 5 of your files in the Source Files menu, click OK, and allow Photoshop to take a few minutes to merge your files together. At this point, Photoshop is going to take those 5 photos, they're going to read the metadata file and see the sequence in which the photos were taken. They're going to try to line up common points of the photos, place each photo on a layer, and then layer mask that layer to try to get the photos to line up as close as possible, and it will stretch and squish and pull each picture to make it fit into a seamless panorama. This can take a while. It could take up to 5 minutes depending on how many files you use. Be patient. You'll see at this point Photoshop has put each photo on a separate layer. And now it's trying to blend those layers together. So areas like here where the pictures don't match up, it's going to try to blend those pictures together. And here is my panorama. Unfortunately, it didn't work that well. See, the face of the student was cut off. And I have some coloration differences here between the cabinets. If I were doing this as an actual project, I would have to go back and reshoot this project. But for demonstration purposes, this image will work fine. You'll see that each layer has part of the picture on it. At this point, you're going to save your photo merge as a PSD, so it should be a Photoshop document. You're going to title it your last name, merge 1. Now these files end up being very, very, very large files. Too big for us to really do much of anything with them. So we're going to resize them so they're a lot smaller. Okay, now to resize this picture, since we're not going to crop it, we're going to go to Image, Image Size. And you'll see the file is very, very large. The document size is 157 inches by 41 inches by 72 dpi. Now, our DPI should always be 180, but we're going to set the height to 7 inches, and then allow Photoshop to constrain the file to whatever width it should be given the size of the document. So, with a height of 7, our width is 26.808 inches. And I wrote that down for a good reason. I'll show you in a second. Now we don't need each one of these pictures to be on a separate layer. So I'm going to control click, and I'm going to merge those layers together so they become one layer. And I'm going to make a new document. Go File, New, and I'm going to set my resolution to 180, should always be 180. I'm going to set the height to 10, and the width is going to be determined by the width of my photo plus 2 inches. So the width of my photo was 26.808 inches, so I'm going to make it 28.808 inches. So this new document I made is the background for my photo. And with my Move tool, I'm going to take my panorama and drag and drop it onto my blank background. Now you want to line this up so you have about an inch of spacing on the top and sides and about 2 inches in the bottom. And because our picture is in regular shape, there's no way to actually make this perfect, but you do what looks best. Use your nudge keys till it lines up and looks as good as possible. And move this up just a hair. Good. Now we take our text tool, and the font that we're going to use is Garamond, which they don't have on this computer, so we're going to use Garamond Pro, which is very similar. And we're going to click and type the word Panorama. Accept our typing. Control T and hold down Shift to make this larger. And again, the size of this is something that you have to really figure out what looks best for your file. I'm going to say somewhere around there looks pretty good. And then type again, and you're going to type your name this time. Accept my typing, Control T, hold down Shift to resize. When you make your name larger, you want to make it a little bit bigger, but also it should be smaller than the words Panorama. Then use the nudge key or the arrow key to line those up so they're centered on the picture and they are centered on one another. Now, depending on your composition, you may have a reason to put the text somewhere in the lower right hand or lower left hand corner, but for the most part the text should be centered on the picture. If you'd like, you can turn on your Smart Guides by going View, Show, and Smart Guides. And Smart Guides, I'll show you what they do, are pink lines that pop up that tell you when things are centered and when they line up. So you see these little pink lines that are popping up, they're telling me where my text centers on different parts of my composition. And they're helpful little ways of making things look perfect. Once you're finished, save this as a JPEG. Last name, first name, Panorama 1. And that is the file that you will be handing in for grading. You're going to complete 3 panoramas for this project. Good luck and happy editing.